We might be watching the last days of Bronny James in the NBA.
This has gotta stop, man! This has just gotta stop! Look at Bronny! He's sleeping! Man, you're sleeping! You play 3 minutes! I can't believe this spacing! There's 2 guys right next to each other, man! They're playing 3-on-5! Look at this, man! Again here, man! Look at this D! This D is haram, man! You have to have more defensive awareness than that, Bronny. Come on, man! It's a shame, man! I feel bad for him! He's just not an NBA player! He cannot be on the floor anymore!
Bronny James, he's 7 for 28 in 4 preseason games from the field. He's 2 for 13, I believe, from three-point range. He's got 8 assists and 8 turnovers. He's moving into year 2. This guy is not an NBA player.
When Bronny James stepped onto an NBA court for the first time, it was supposed to be unforgettable. Father and son making history together, a basketball dynasty coming full circle, the kind of moment the league lives for, captured in slow motion with cameras catching every emotion. But the narrative has taken a sharp turn. The cameras aren't celebrating anymore. They're watching, they're dissecting, and they're revealing a difficult truth that's getting harder to ignore.
Real question. This is no hate. This is real shit. Why he in the G?
At all.
And Bronny not in the G.
Whoa.
Bronny James is struggling, and the league isn't sugarcoating it. Not in press releases or official statements, but in the numbers that matter. Minutes that never come. Offensive possessions that bypass him completely. And visible uncertainty every time he enters the game. This isn't about disrespect or personal attacks. It's about whether he's truly NBA ready. And right now, Bronny looks outmatched by the speed, the physicality, and the unforgiving pace of professional basketball.
I just looked it up. G League top scorers, points per game. I went through 50 and there's no Bronny James in there. He had 1 40-point game. The other games were 1. So now you do the math, and it's not going to be in the top 50. I don't even know who is this. Bryce McGowan, Elijah Harkles, Trey Alexander, DJ Davidson. Never heard of these kids. But they're dropping 30 a night in G League. Why is Bronny sitting on the bench? And this is the thing with Stephen A.
Let's address the most glaring issue, the one visible in every box score, film breakdown, and coaching staff discussion. Bronny James can't shoot at an NBA level, not from deep, not as a spot-up threat, not in rhythm, not with any consistency. This problem didn't appear overnight. It's been there since college. Low shooting percentages, mechanical flaws, a release that looks stiff rather than fluid. In the NBA, that hesitation gets exposed immediately. Defenders don't respect his shot, so they drop off him. They crowd the paint. They practically dare him to fire. When defenses ignore your jumper, everything collapses. Spacing vanishes. Driving lanes shut down. The offense stagnates. When Bronny's on the court, the Lakers aren't just struggling to score, they're struggling to even create opportunities.
Fair that he is there is what I'm going to say. You know, I think it's clear, like, what the reason why he's there is because LeBron, has kind of made sure he's there. He's just not an NBA player. He looks, in my mind, like almost like worse than he was last year, or it hasn't been any improvement.
The statistics paint an even grimmer picture. Bronny ranks at the bottom among all rookies in scoring, near dead last in field goal percentage. Minimal offensive impact across the board. This isn't nitpicking advanced metrics. This is fundamental NBA production, and he's simply not delivering. There are no scoring bursts, no pressure on opposing defenses, no adjustments being made to account for him. His minutes feel empty, almost like he's not even there. And in a league where every possession is critical, being invisible is a death sentence. Bronny was marketed as a combo guard, a smart playmaker who could run an offense and connect the pieces. But the tape reveals something different. His ball handling looks uncertain against pressure. His reads come too slow. The ball stops moving when it reaches his hands. You'll see plays where the right decision is obvious. Swing the ball, find the open shooter, attack the seam. But instead, there's hesitation, wasted dribbles, panicked passes, turnovers that kill momentum. That's not an effort problem, that's an experience problem. And the NBA doesn't wait for you to figure it out. You need to arrive ready. Now, defense, the one area where Bronny was expected to contribute immediately. He's got the athletic profile, the lateral movement, the physical tools are clearly there. But raw tools don't matter if you can't apply them correctly. Watch the film closely, and you'll catch possessions where Bronny looks completely lost. Late rotations, blown switches, closeouts that don't actually contest the shot. NBA offenses capitalize on those mistakes instantly. They target weak links. They force inexperienced players into impossible situations. They attack hesitation. And Bronny's playing like someone overthinking every movement instead of trusting his instincts. At this level, defense requires anticipation, not just effort. And anticipation comes from game reps, not recruiting rankings.
In the NBA, and I know Bronny's got this contract, and if he sticks with the Lakers, maybe it's inevitable, but if LeBron ever has to really force his way out, that may be the end of Bronny's career. That's where LeBron has potentially miscalculated, because his greed, his desire to play with his son may end up blowing up in his face. This is turned in.
Here's the reality nobody wants to say out loud, but the coaching staff sees it every night. When Bronny enters the game, the Lakers often get worse. Not on paper, not emotionally, actually worse. Statistically, functionally, measurably. The offense loses rhythm. The ball movement gets choppy. The team's confidence dips. That doesn't mean he's a bad person or teammate. It means he's unsure of his role. And in basketball, uncertainty is contagious. NBA rotations aren't constructed around potential or upside. They're built on trust and reliability. You earn playing time by making everyone else's job easier, not harder. Right now, Bronny isn't doing that. What Bronny James needs isn't protection or pity. He doesn't need a PR campaign or special treatment. He needs development, real, intensive, high-repetition work. And the G League is where that happens. Not as punishment, not as failure, but as a necessary step in his journey. Because the message from the NBA is clear. Even if it's never spoken directly, you're not ready yet. The smartest move Bronny can make is accept that truth and act on it.
That looks like, you see, a scared boy out there. He don't look like he want to make mistakes. He don't feel comfortable making mistakes.
6 words that explain everything. He don't feel comfortable making mistakes. That's the divide between development and just trying to survive. Young players grow by making mistakes. They need to take contested shots, miss rotations, try risky passes. That's how you discover what actually works at this level. But Bronny can't afford mistakes. Not with his last name, not with his circumstances, not with millions of people online ready to tear him apart. The coaching staff can design plays for him, create opportunities, offer constant encouragement, but if Bronny doesn't believe he belongs, none of it works. You can't manufacture confidence through schemes or speeches. It's built through reps, through small wins stacking into bigger ones. Right now, Bronny isn't experiencing those small victories because he's too afraid to take the necessary risks to achieve them.
Put him in a situation in a Charlotte or fucking Sacramento or one of these bad teams, right? Where there's no expectation.
He can go under the radar.
Go out in that motherfucker and play.
Yeah.
They lose. Bronny can go 0 for 13 one day, 14 for 15 one day, 6 for 9, whatever the case is.
This is the alternate reality, and it might define Bronny's entire career. Imagine if he'd been drafted by Charlotte or Portland, franchises with 0 playoff expectations, no dynasty pressure, no LeBron James sitting courtside. He could have logged 25 minutes per game, launched 15 shots, made every rookie mistake in the book without global scrutiny. Win or lose, nobody would have cared, because those teams are rebuilding anyway. Instead, he landed with the Lakers, a championship-chasing organization desperate to squeeze every last drop from LeBron's twilight years, a team that cannot afford to waste a roster spot on a long-term project. Every minute Bronny plays is a minute stolen from a player who could actually contribute to winning basketball right now. That creates tension, pressure, and an environment where a 20-year-old can't even breathe.
I know what it is. It ain't easy.
I know.
It ain't easy to come in.
Kenyon Martin understands Bronny's situation perfectly because his son, KJ Martin, faced similar circumstances. But here's the key difference. Kenyon wasn't active in the NBA when KJ entered. KJ had room to build his own identity, make his own mistakes, carve out his own path. Bronny doesn't have that privilege. Every single day, he's measured against LeBron, and the pressure multiplies exponentially because they're literally sharing the same locker room. No other second-round pick in NBA history has faced this level of scrutiny. Most 55th picks get waived before opening night. The rare few who stick around play garbage minutes and develop quietly in the G League without anyone paying attention. But Bronny? Every possession is dissected, debated, weaponized. It's an impossible standard for any rookie, let alone someone who survived cardiac arrest just over a year ago and is still adjusting to professional basketball. The clock is ticking for Bronny James. LeBron's playing on an expiring contract, dealing with sciatica that suggests his body is starting to break down. Next season marks year 3 of Bronny's rookie deal, the exact moment that the Lakers can waive him without any cap consequences. Everything is lining up for a painful conclusion to this father-son experiment. But one path remains: performance. If Bronny can somehow push through the mental blocks, start playing with the aggression and freedom he displayed in the G League, prove he can genuinely help the Lakers win basketball games, everything shifts. The criticism disappears. The roster spot becomes justified. The career survives. But right now, though, we're watching a young player suffocating under expectations, playing terrified instead of liberated, and running out of opportunities to prove he belongs. The next few months will decide whether Bronny James becomes an inspiring comeback story or a cautionary tale about how pressure and nepotism can destroy raw potential. The basketball world is watching closely. The hourglass is nearly empty, and Bronny James is running out of chances to silence the doubters. Wrong.